Hello, good night, traders. Happy Halloween. It is Sunday, October 31st, 2021, 9:37 p.m. I'm here in Sri Lanka, and I am going to go over Gbpjpy Gbpusd in this video. Right now, you guys are looking at the economic calendar for the week, and I'm just going to go into the next week. October 31st and November 7th, and we're going to take a look at all of the events ahead for GJ and see where we can have some potential confluence breaks. So as of right now, there's G20 meetings this weekend. I discussed that in my previous videos. If you did not see it, watch them. Now, I see that there is USD news, there's Europe, there's AUD, there's still no GJ. There's no GJ on Monday, there's no GJ on Tuesday, and there's no GJ on Wednesday. So as of right now, I'm going to go into the charts to take a look at GJ and see exactly what's going on. I want to get a clean GJ chart. Let's take this one. Oh, that one is also marked up. Just a moment. I believe this one is clear. Alright, so I'm going to clean this chart up so we can go from the top down and go from there. There we go. So GJ on the monthly, we can see that it is bullish. We can see that price is definitely going to potentially climb up an additional 600 pips. I want to mark down the two areas that I do see for you all to understand in a more in-depth photo. Just a minute. Here we go. So it's currently testing monthly key level of resistance. If we could see a monthly close, which is going to happen on after Sunday, if we could see a bullish day on Sunday and a monthly close above 158, which is still kind of tough because we can see prices currently at 156.0, and that's not exactly where we need to be in order to see a bullish run to the upside. If it does close, we could potentially see a bearish month back to the downside of maybe perhaps 400 pips. So that could be something that we are seeing. So I want to pay attention to that range because on the monthly scale, we don't really need to pay attention to anything else. We can see what's going on, and I just wanted to box out the region that we'll focus on. So let's go into the weekly time frame to mark this up some more. So you guys can see it's about 750 pips, that range. That's a lot of pips if you're going to go to the downside. But let's also mark up a potential resistance zone. So there is going to be the next area of resistance when we come to it on the weekly. If price does hike, we could see price go up about 530 pips to that next key level area if we can see the weekly close above there. But that's going to happen at the end of this week. So what does that indicate? It indicates that as of right now, we can't really go bullish because price is not ready to go up just yet. Let's go into the daily time frame now, where we can definitely get a clearer insight on what's happening. So we could see that price did close above highs, and it is signaling that it's going to go up on the daily. But that recently happened back on October 15th. We can see that it just made a new high of the year. So that's great news for bulls, and especially if you're a swing trader or a long-term position holder that wants to hold this and invest for it to go on up. But if you're a short-term day trader like myself, this is a disaster setup for a bull because there's a lot of space to the downside, and I don't like that. So I'm going to mark that off as my next key level. So you guys see where there is potential resistance right around here. That's where we are aiming for bears. So right now I'm setting up for potential bear move down because as a bull I would actually be holding this while price works its way out. So I'm going to go into the 4 hour where I can see there's a series of lower highs and lower lows being formed right now. We do take the trend line tool out and we mark it up. We can see that there is a descending trend channel, and I actually would like to see a break of that channel to really see a further downside move to hit. There's going to be some congestion around 154.5 and below. And do I see this spot potentially holding up? Absolutely not. This is a weak zone, and I would not be too concerned about that. If I were, then I would mark it up, but I'm not. So right now we are looking for a drive and a break below this channel to see a move about 250 pips downwards, and I do foresee that happening within the next week or two. So as of right now, I would like to be bullish, but I am going to stay bearish on GJ. So that is a big shift because I was bullish prior to that on GJ, and I did believe that it was going to go up and hit resistance, but my stops were hit and my sentiment was shifted back to the downside and changed after the end of the day on Friday, and that's what we're currently seeing is the reversal in play and the market flipping sides to the downside. So don't be fooled if GJ does drop. I know there's a lot of bulls that has been collecting throughout the year, especially in October. GJ just kind of blasted off in the beginning of October, and a lot of those bulls that were holding, they're going to get stopped out before the market does decide on going back up. Take a look back at the monthly just so we can see. We can definitely see a drive to the upside on the monthly because it is bullish, but right now there is going to be a nice correction. So don't get things twisted. It will potentially go back up, but as of right now, we will have to just wait for that time to happen. So once we do see price go down here, wait for a reaction, a nice bounce with a nice solid risk to reward ratio and a drive to the first high and beyond. So that's to break down the GJ on a macro scale for you all. Going into the micro, like I said, I don't like to go over the 5 minute when the market's not moving, so we will get into the 5 minute and beyond as the week picks up pace, and that's it for GJ, guys. See how I'm doing on time. Excellent. Just 7 minutes. I'm actually going to go into Gbpjpy Gbpusd while I'm at it, just so I could break that down. I did go over Euro USD as well, but why not go over Gbpjpy Gbpusd as well? So let's look at GU. GU, we are also bearish, just like Euro USD, so it's kind of mirroring Euro USD. When we're looking at the monthly time frame, I'm going to just go out to this. Wait a moment. Monthly time frame is doing very similar to GJ. It's reached the peak area of confluence. Let me just delete all of these lines and show you guys right now. It's reached the peak area of confluence, so we can see some bounces, we can see some highs, but this is a high that we're looking at right now. If we could see a monthly close above these highs, we could definitely be going bullish. But a few months ago, we did see succession back to the downside, and we did see a close. So as of now, GU is surprisingly going down before people even can consider it go bearish. But it is currently rejecting. It's the start of a bear market, and something that everyone has to be concerned about. I would not ignore this, and this is the range that we're currently trading within that bear market. So as of right now, looking at the weekly time frame, price is currently crashing down. It looks like it rejected off of that support briefly, but it does not look like that is going to be a strong structure that's going to hold. So I do believe that once that wick gets filled, price could potentially drive down to more lows, which is about another 300 pips away. Let's mark that up right there, and we will talk about that once we get to that point. So right now we could see a potential drive to the low, creating a new low on the daily smaller time frames. But right now we are currently going to go into the daily to break this down as well. We can see that price has made a series of lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, and it has been making up the downtrend. It was interrupted, so I'm going to mark that up. So it was interrupted once, it resumed trend. It was interrupted twice. Let's see if it resumes this trend. But let's also mark something else up. I don't like using trend lines in this fashion, so I'm going to delete it. And I'm just going to mark up my key level areas on the daily of resistance that I see right now. So just bear with me for a moment while I mark these up. So at the moment, we could see price crashing into a potential sell area where we could see some new liquidity going to the downside. Now, I will break that down once we get to the smaller time frames, but right now, price is rejecting the resistance. It did climb up. This is high enough. If you draw the Fibonacci from swing high to swing low, it's rejecting the 0.786 and the 618, and there was a strong daily close, and it's indicating that we are going to see a drive down. TP1 would be about 100 pips away, around 1.3876. TP2 would be about 250 pips away, and that would be my move to the downside just to start the bear market. Once we see a daily close below 1.336, we could definitely start to see a new drive farther down and beyond. So we'll take it every step of the way. Getting into the smaller time frame, I know I didn't really break down the 4 hour, but we can see that this is a nice entry. So GU on Sunday, I would ignore it, but once London breakout happens, which is also going to be technically Monday, we will be able to see the market move down further. So I will wait for that to happen. I do see a nice drive. I do see a nice bear setup, and it's just a matter of time before I take a 100 pip move. TP1, wait for the close, TP2, and be complete for the week. So other thing that can happen is price could go down about 100 pips and then react around that area. Could be even be less than that. So it could react in that area and then bounce up and congest in a range for the week. But I do foresee it continuing down about 200 pips for this week. So that's it for the GBPs, guys, and I will follow up in the next couple of days.